Good evening. Welcome once again to everybody that will be joining us for this webinar. We have a very interesting topic that we chose for this month's session, and as we all know, it's called the future of digital finance. So, seeing that not just finance, but the world globally is moving to a digital era. Not even has moved, let's not say it's even moving, has moved to a digital era. And then finance is not left behind. Finance has also moved to a digital era. So it's quite imminent that we understand what digital finance entails and how we can navigate the waters of the financial industry in regards to tech. And so we have our speaker, Mr. Silas, who will be handling this session. So, Mr. Silas, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for joining the class. And it's a monthly financial literacy workshop that is delivered by Super Capital. Like I said, um, I'm privileged to be the founder and CEO at Super Capital. And we do this every other month to be able to help our community learn about finances and wealth growth and personal finance. So I'm delivering this month's class in the series, and I'm going to be talking about the future of digital finance. So I think the first thing we want to do is to define or understand what digital finance is. Um, for those that don't know, so largely people will say, explain to me like I'm a 5-year-old. It simply means using technology to deliver financial services. So it makes it easier, it makes it faster, and a lot of times it makes it cheaper than traditional banks. What we grew up to meet was everyone that has to carry out any form of financial service would have to go to a physical location known as a bank branch. And in this day and time, things have moved so quickly that everything is now available on your phone. Um, so basically, digital finance is putting it in one sentence, is basically just leveraging technology to manage your money. And this has made it more affordable, more accessible, and more personalized, especially for businesses, for people who are underserved, who are undermined by the traditional banking system. It's probably not deliberate, but because of the way the traditional banking system is structured, it makes it uh, pretty difficult for the banking system to reach everybody. Now, if we want to look at the examples of digital finance in terms of how it has been applied in today's world, you would see that digital finance is literally in everything that we now do because virtually everybody has a smartphone as it is. Um, you look at mobile banking apps, you look at online investing like buying stock and cryptocurrencies. You can now do all of this on your phone now. Peer-to-peer lending, borrowing money from other people through apps. Um, you can also have digital wallets, like Super Capital, for example, is a digital wallet, and we're fast, on the way to make it a smart wallet where it has all of those emerging technology being able to support. PayPal is one of the very front line digital wallets. Apple Pay, Google Wallet, and all of that. Those are key examples of what digital wallets looks like. Then there is blockchain and decentralized finance right now, which is what cryptocurrencies are all built on, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, and all of that. They are all built on the blockchain. Then there is embedded finance, like when you have a loan directly inside the shopping app, for example. So all of these are key examples of what digital finance is. And basically, what I'm going to help you do with this class is to help you understand where this is going, because all of these examples are where we are right now. And I'm just trying to give an insight as to the future of where all of this is going. So, um, if we want to look at it, there is no conversation going on right now without the two letters A AI. So AI simply stands for artificial intelligence, which means that machines learning to behave like humans, and there is a programming called machine learning that AI uses to be able to learn as humans prompt it to ask questions or you know help ask the machines to help them solve complex problems. So when it comes to financial services, and as we've been able to explain what digital finance is, one of the key things AI is going to do is to help to track your spending. One of the biggest problem for a lot of underserved people is that they don't even know where their money is going. So one of the future or what is going to continue to happen is that AI is going to help a lot of people track their spending. As money is going out, the machine is able to track where that money is going to. Now, based on that data, right, the individual is able to set financial goals. They are able to um, separate what they are spending for, or at least they're able to know exactly where most of their money is going to. The other thing that AI is going to do is going to improve credit scoring, because one of the key problems of people that are underserved is because of their very thin or bad credit files. So with the help of AI, it's going to improve how credit is being scored and how credit is being made available to those that are currently being heavily underserved. One of my favorites is robo advisors. So the big thing with robo advisors is it now puts financial advice in the hands of virtually anybody that has a phone, right? And this is not just going to be for smartphones alone, it's going to also be delivered to regular phones like SMS services. So you receive custom um, investment advice. And this is something that has been lacking for a lot of years. So in the future, in the near future, it is being experimented at the moment, but in the near future, you're going to see a lot of robo advisors giving advice to very ordinary people, telling them how to save their money, how to spend their money, where to invest. And the summary of all of this is going to make financial services very effortless, and it's going to help a lot of people make smarter money decisions. This other thing that digital finance is going to experience heavily is access to borderless lending through decentralized financial solutions. And this is a key thing when it comes to underserved communities, especially because one of the biggest problem is lack of access to capital. A lot of people do not have access to capital, and the reason for that is either because the traditional banking system does not support the kind of capital they want to have, or they don't have the credit score or all of that, like I mentioned in the previous slides. But with digital finance getting into the future of financial services, there will be a lot of borderless lending happening. You see people from one country borrowing from someone completely halfway around the world, and the system is able to automate even the conversions, right? Say, take for instance, somebody from Nigeria could borrow a loan from somebody in the UK, and they are able to repay that loan from a particular platform. Somebody from the US can fund somebody in South Africa's business, even though it is currently happening, but it's going to happen at a faster speed because of decentralized financial solution. And there will be an automated system for this loan approval, and it's going to be a matter of minutes, right? Where people just enter all of the loan details and all of that, and the loan is approved just like that. Now, this with this speed of things being done, it's going to become more and more affordable to access capital. Halfway around the world, people are able to access more capital for very minimal cost. And the final thing that's going to happen with this borderless lending through DeFi solution is there's going to be less paperwork, because most of the identity will be automated. Identity verification will be automated as compared with traditional banks. I'll give you a quick example. So there's a bank in Nigeria, for example, who are trying to reactivate a particular account, and they had asked us that we have to physically walk into the bank. Gradually, that is going to become a thing of the past with borderless lending, borderless ID verification, and things like that. Account opening, loan approvals, account reactivation, and all of that will become really borderless, and people will be doing it from different parts of the world. The other thing that we are already seeing it happening, but it's going to be huge in the near future, is embedded finance, both for personal and business finance, right? Payments, insurance, credit options, all inside one app or one website. So in the past, what usually used to happen is if you want to open a savings account, you have to walk straight into a banking branch and open a savings account. And then if you need an insurance service, you have to go to another building halfway around town to be able to access insurance service. If you needed credit options, you have to, so you keep shuttling between buildings and places and people to be able to access the different aspects of financial services. However, with digital finance, it's becoming more and more normal to see everything inside one particular website or inside one particular app where people can access payments, they can access insurance, they can access credit options, they can access even a marketplace as it is. You can see, platforms like Facebook, for example, currently offers Facebook Market where people can buy and sell. And then, it's fast becoming almost like, where people can exchange money. Somebody said jokingly on social media once that you're just one feature away from becoming a fintech. Every single platform is moving towards digital finance one way or the other. And this has come to stay. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. So embedded finance is a key part of the future of digital finance, where a lot of things, a lot of offerings are going to be in the same place. They're going to be on the same website, just at the tap of a finger. You are able to access different solutions from the same digital location. One interesting thing for the future of digital finance is the fact that finance or financial services is fast moving away from just profits or deposits, or as moving towards value. This is especially true when it comes to investment. A lot of people want to invest with things that align with their values. Now, people have moved away from just investing for the sake of investing. They are now moving towards investing because it aligns with their value, right? Take, for instance, when it comes to climate change, a lot of people would not invest except it aligns with grey eco-conscious investment principles. If, for instance, it is not ethical or it is not creating any form of impact, they will not invest. In the case of ethical impact investing, this is pretty popular in the Middle East and North Africa, in the world what's generally known as the MENA region, because Islamic finance, for example, is generally not for high profits. That's why you see things like the Sukuk bond and non-interest loans that are offered under Islamic finance, because it aligns with their religious principles, right? In other parts of the world, most people would not invest if your business is not a social enterprise or creating some level of impact. And one thing that the people that are building digital finance are now doing more rapidly is that they are making sure that their financial offering or service aligns with the SDG goals. And those are, more like a measuring benchmark for the impact your investment is creating. Take, for instance, at Super Capital, for example, our financial service, so everything we do at Super Capital aligns with goals 1, 2, and 8 of SDGs. Goal 1 being to reduce poverty, goal 2 being to reduce hunger, and goal 8 being to increase economic growth through job creation. So If you look at everything that we do, our entire investment strategy is built around socially responsible investment strategy. And this is a key thing in digital finance today. People would research a particular offering to make sure that it aligns with their values before they put their money in it. Finally, one of the key things digital finance is beginning to do more rapidly and is going to become more popular in the future is increased access to financial literacy, right? For a lot of people, no matter how basic finance is, you can see, just like you can see on your screen now, it looks like a lot of numbers and alphabets and question marks. Is very confusing for them. However, with digital finance and financial literacy at everyone's fingertips through digital finance products like the Super Capital app, you are beginning to see free webinars like this one you are attending or listening to right now. You're beginning to see a lot of free courses on financial literacy. You're beginning to see people, or what we now call influencers, financial influencers who on social media share financial tips to be able to guide your savings goals, your investment goals, your wealth creation goals, and things like that. So it is now completely in your hands with all of these things at your fingertips, literally, because it's on your phone, right? To be able to empower yourself, to empower your life and change your life. So when it comes to the future of digital finance, these are some of the key things that you want to look out for in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line. These things are already available out there, but they are going to be available at scale in the next 10 to 15 years. So I'm going to wrap up here quickly, and I'm going to take questions. I'll allow the moderator to moderate if we have any questions in the room.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Silas. From just these few minutes that you have spoken on the future of data finance, like I've taken a lot of notes, and I like the last thing that you said, especially from your slide. I said it's on you to build your financial skill that empowers you for life. So, in as much as digital finance and the world is evolving, if you don't take that initiative to build yourself, then AI will, or technology will not build it for you. And that is the beautiful thing about technology. Technology is not there to take over anything, but rather help you make your work easier. So before I open the room up, before I ask the house for any other question, I have a few questions I want to ask. A lot of persons are so skeptical about AI. I know this question has been asked a lot. Persons keep saying that AI is here to replace jobs, take away jobs. But I want to find out, what role will artificial intelligence play in shaping financial decision making process? Like when, like how, what is the role of AI when it comes to making financial decision?
I don't think AI is here to take anyone's job if they know what they are doing,
Well,
right? I
true.
don't think AI is going to replace anybody if they are human enough, right? So I think that is one of the things I really need to clear. When it comes to the role of artificial intelligence in terms of shaping financial decisions or helping you, it depends on the behavior of the human. Like I said earlier, artificial intelligence has machine learning as a core part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would only learn as much as the human behaves.
Okay.
So, the role of artificial intelligence is to mimic the person, right? If the person is a heavy spender, the AI would start to pick that pattern and then start to advise in the direction of what that person has set as a goal. For example, if I'm a heavy spender and I want to be spending a certain amount every month, but because I'm a heavy spender, I need something to keep me in check, and then I go ahead to set a financial goal. What the AI does, if it's once I'm getting towards my limit, my spending limit, it starts to trigger a warning. And when
Mhm.
it gets to that particular time where I have set that limit, it triggers a stop payment so that I do not exceed the goal I have set. Now, what it then does is it's not replacing anybody, it's just helping you learn and maintain discipline. Role is going to play in terms of personal finance or business finance or, finance generally as it is.
All right, all right. Thank you, thank you. I really wanted to emphasize that so that our listeners can really understand that AI is not replacing but helping.
All right, so I have two questions in the chat. As the role of fintech going to be, as we have every other business embedding finance in their business. So as it is, I've mentioned earlier that whether it is finance or technology, they are all going to be enablers in business. Um, Fintechs generally would be able to be a connection between a business and the customers. Now, there are different kinds of fintech. I don't want to go into teaching, the different sectors of fintech. So, fintech can be payment, it can be digital wallet, it can be blockchain technology, it can be a lot of things, right? And then there are several layers of fintech, as it were. So, fintechs would continue to be relevant, especially to underserved market. Take Nigeria, for example, has about 80 million of people that are underserved. The UK has over 20 million that are underserved and financially fragile. Europe has over 11 million. The whole of Africa as a whole has about 350 million. So one business will not be able to serve this humongous amount of people, right? Every business would do their little bit to be able to save or to serve as much as they can. And this is where fintechs come into play because there are a lot of people in rural areas, unreached, underserved areas that fintechs would be able to reach that traditional banks or certain businesses may never be able to reach. So that is the key role of fintech, especially in businesses, even though a lot of people are embedding that into business. The second question I saw in the chat is about explaining. Say, could you explain to a non-tech savvy newbie in financial intelligence how to get started with DeFi, that's decentralized finance, to ensure a financial tracking, growth, and investment? That's a very complex question to be able to respond to in 5 minutes. However, decentralized finance, I think I will start from there, is something that is done on the blockchain. The blockchain is what is now nicknamed as Web3, the third version of the internet. Um, the blockchain is a series of code, right, that is open source and it's an open ledger that anybody can verify around the world. I'm doing that introduction so that you understand decentralized finance. Decentralized because it is not controlled by the government. It is not controlled by any central bank. So decentralized, central banks means it is centralized. Take for instance, the US dollar is centralized under the Federal Reserve. The Nigerian naira is centralized under the Central Bank of Nigeria. The British pounds is centralized under the Bank of England. But for currencies like cryptocurrencies, for example, they are decentralized because no single governmental authority controls the price or controls where it is stored or controls how it is being transacted. So I think for anyone that is non-tech savvy, that is the simplest explanation I could give for that. And in regards to using DeFi to track your financial growth and investment, would mean that you have to trade or exchange value with currencies that decentralized finance understand, which means you have to be doing trade or transactions in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, in token, USDT, stable coin, for example, and things like that. So what this means is if the person is not, so if you are not very techy, you might have to upgrade your knowledge to know a little bit about decentralized finance, blockchain, and crypto track your growth and investment. So simply put, you would have to convert your fiat currency, Naira, USD, British pounds, whatever currency your country, relies on, convert that into a cryptocurrency and have it in the blockchain or crypto wallet, and then use that to either invest or do transactions. And then it will start appearing on that decentralized financial ledger. So that's how it goes. And then when you use that to track your growth, you are then able to also convert that back into fiat currency that you can then spend in whatever country you are in. So it's almost like a rotatory system, but that is the simplest can explain that. Is there any other question before we go? I have about 2 minutes.
No, I think we've covered all the questions that we have. Okay, since we just have 2 more minutes, I just want to take this time to appreciate Mr. Silas for the amazing webinar. At least we have all been enlightened from the webinar that you gave. So now I'm sure with this webinar, if anybody picks up or watches this webinar, somebody who has not heard about about digital finance before, at least this can be a starting point for a newbie. Even from the questions that was raised, people can be able to learn from this. So I want to appreciate you very much, sir, for a wonderful work done. So once again, thank you very much. Thank you everyone for sparing our time to come out. Just quick reminder, we will be having another webinar at the end of May. We're having another webinar at the end of May, and I would love all of us to all come out. Invite your friends, invite family, invite your close circle, your broad circle. Just invite everybody to come and learn, and let's all grow our wealth together. Let's all grow our financial knowledge together.